She won't say it. She can't say it. But the tension between you? It's louder than words. You feel it in the pauses, in the way her voice softens when it's just the two of you, in the way she looks at you for half a second too long, then quickly remembers she shouldn't. And that's the dangerous part. Because when a married woman likes you, she doesn't flirt the way a single woman does. She doesn't chase. She doesn't risk. She hides. She buries it under politeness, under distance, under, "I'm just being friendly." But energy doesn't lie. Welcome to Female Code Unlocked, where we decode what she'll never admit out loud. If you want to understand female psychology on a deeper level, not the fairy tale version, but the raw emotional truth, subscribe now. Because what you're about to learn, most men completely miss. Now listen carefully. The first sign isn't obvious desire. It's controlled restraint. When a married woman likes you but is hiding it, she becomes hyper-aware of herself around you. She adjusts her posture. She smooths her hair. She laughs slightly softer. Not because she's trying to seduce you, but because your presence makes her nervous in a way she doesn't want to feel. You'll notice it in small things. She remembers details about you that she shouldn't care about. Your favorite coffee. The story about your childhood dog. The way you said you hate cold weather. She stores those details quietly, like emotional souvenirs. Ask yourself, why would she remember? Because when a woman is emotionally neutral, she doesn't invest memory. But when she's emotionally stirred, her mind replays you long after you're gone. The second sign is tension disguised as boundaries. She might bring up her husband in conversations more than necessary. Not to remind you, but to remind herself. It's psychological self-defense. She's trying to create a wall before her feelings climb over it. But here's the twist. If she truly felt nothing, she wouldn't need the wall. Watch how she behaves in group settings versus when it's just you. In a group, she may act distant, formal, almost cold, but alone? Her tone shifts. Her eyes soften. Her body angles slightly towards you, subtle, controlled, but different. That contrast is everything. Women are masters of social calibration. If she's adjusting her energy based on who's watching, it means she's aware of how she feels, and she's trying to manage it. Another sign? The accidental touches that aren't accidental. Her hand brushing yours when passing something, standing just a little too close when there's more than enough space. The gentle tap on your arm when she laughs. These micro-movements are rarely conscious decisions. Attraction leaks through the body before the mind can censor it. And here's where it gets deeper. She starts asking personal questions that go beyond surface-level curiosity. Not, "What do you do?" but, "Are you happy?" Not, "Where are you from?" but, "What do you really want in life?" That's emotional probing. Because when a married woman feels something she shouldn't, she often tries to rationalize it by connecting intellectually first. She tells herself, "It's just conversation." But what she's really doing is exploring emotional compatibility. And then comes the silence. There will be moments where you catch her staring, not in a bold way, in a thoughtful way, like she's imagining something she immediately shuts down. And when you catch her, she looks away quickly, sometimes smiles, sometimes acts distracted. That flicker of vulnerability, that's not random. That's a mind fighting a feeling. But the most powerful sign? She creates opportunities to be around you, without making it obvious. She'll coincidentally show up where you are. She'll extend conversations just a little longer than necessary. She'll find reasons to message you that don't really require messaging. On the surface, it's innocent. Underneath, it's intentional proximity. Because attraction doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it hides behind morality, responsibility, and fear. But the body language, the energy shifts, the emotional curiosity, those are harder to control. And here's the truth you need to understand. When a married woman likes you, she doesn't want you. That internal conflict creates tension. And tension always leaves clues. The question is, can you read them without crossing lines you'll regret? Now we go deeper. Because attraction in a married woman doesn't move in straight lines, it moves in contradictions. One day she's warm, engaged, curious about you. The next day she's distant, guarded, almost formal, like she's building emotional walls brick by brick. And that inconsistency? It's not confusion about you. It's conflict within her. When a woman is single and interested, she moves toward desire. When she's married and interested, she moves toward control. She pulls back not because she lost attraction, but because she felt it too strongly. You'll notice something subtle. She becomes emotionally reactive to you. If you mention another woman casually, watch her micro-expression. A flicker, a pause, a forced neutrality. She won't question you directly. She has no right to. But her body will tighten for a split second. Jealousy without permission. That's powerful. Because jealousy only shows up where emotional investment exists. And when she can't claim you, she feels that loss silently. Another sign most men miss? She tests your boundaries. Not aggressively, not obviously, but strategically. She might say something slightly suggestive and then immediately soften it with a joke. She might hold eye contact just long enough to make you aware of it, then look away first. She might open up about something personal, then quickly say, "I don't know why I'm telling you this." She's measuring your reaction. She wants to know, are you safe? Are you discreet? Are you tempted? Will you push? Or will you stay composed? This is dark psychology at play, not manipulation in a villainous sense, but subconscious evaluation. She's trying to assess whether the emotional tension between you is mutual, without exposing herself. And then there's the emotional intimacy escalation. If she starts sharing frustrations about her marriage, carefully, subtly, that's not random venting. Pay attention to the framing. If she says, "Marriage is hard sometimes," that's normal. But if she says, "I just feel misunderstood lately," and holds eye contact with you, that's emotional bridging. She's not asking you to fix her problems. She's unconsciously positioning you as the man who understands her. And that's where emotional danger begins. Because women don't just fall through physical attraction, they fall through emotional safety. If she laughs differently with you, if she relaxes around you in a way that feels almost like relief, that's a sign she associates you with emotional escape. And escape is intoxicating. But here's the paradox. The more she feels, the more she may try to reduce contact. She might take longer to reply, avoid being alone with you, mention her husband more frequently again. Why? Because guilt grows proportionally to desire. The stronger the pull, the stronger the resistance. And in that push-pull dynamic, you'll feel tension so thick, it almost feels like unfinished sentences hanging in the air. There will be moments where it feels like something could happen, and moments where it feels like she's shutting everything down. That emotional whiplash isn't random, it's internal warfare. But here's the most revealing behavior of all. When a married woman likes you, but is hiding it, she pays attention to how you see her. She'll subtly seek your approval. She'll care how she looks specifically when you're around. She'll ask your opinion on things that don't really require your input. Because even if she won't act on attraction, she wants to feel desired by you. Not possessed, not pursued recklessly, just desired. And that's the silent validation she craves. Now here's the question you need to ask yourself. Are you reading curiosity? Or are you projecting fantasy? Because sometimes men mistake kindness for tension. But when it's real, it doesn't feel light. It feels heavy, charged, like two magnets trying not to touch. Now watch her body. Because the mouth can lie. The body rarely does. When a married woman likes you but is hiding it, her words will stay controlled. But her nervous system won't. You'll see it in her breathing first. When you step closer, her breathing subtly changes. Slightly deeper, slightly slower, or sometimes quicker. Like her body is reacting before her mind has permission to. Attraction activates the nervous system. And when she's trying to suppress it, that internal spike becomes even more noticeable. Then there's the eyes. Not the obvious staring. Not the bold, seductive look. It's the stolen glances. She looks at you when you're not looking at her, studies you, observes how you talk, how you move, and the moment you catch her, she looks away quickly, sometimes pretending she was focused on something else. But if you pay attention closely, you'll notice something else. Her pupils may dilate slightly when you're in close proximity. Her gaze might drop briefly to your lips before returning to your eyes. These are primal reactions. Not calculated, not strategic, biological. And biology doesn't care about marital status. Another powerful signal is mirroring. If she subtly mirrors your posture, crosses her arms after you do, leans in when you lean in, matches your tone, that's subconscious alignment. Humans mirror people they feel connected to. It's a silent way of saying, we're in sync. And when that mirroring happens consistently with you, but not with others, that's not coincidence. Watch her feet. It sounds small, but feet often point toward what the heart is interested in. In group conversations, if her body is angled toward the group but her feet are angled toward you, that's subconscious orientation. The body betrays the heart. Then there's proximity. A married woman who feels nothing will maintain safe, respectful distance. But one who's hiding attraction? She'll find reasons to enter your personal space and linger there just a second longer than necessary, standing shoulder to shoulder when there's room elsewhere, sitting slightly closer than social norms require, not pulling away immediately when your arms brush. That hesitation, that half-second delay, is loaded. Now here's something deeper. Notice her voice when she speaks to you. Does it soften, lower slightly, become slower and more deliberate? Women often subconsciously adjust vocal tone around someone they're attracted to. It becomes warmer, more intimate, even if the words themselves remain neutral. And then there's the smile, not the polite social smile, the real one, the one that reaches her eyes, the one that lingers after the conversation ends, the one she tries to suppress but can't fully hide. Sometimes she'll smile at something you say, then quickly compose herself, like she remembers she shouldn't enjoy it that much. That micro-withdrawal is important, because that's restraint in real time. And here's one of the strongest subconscious signals of all. Nervous fidgeting. Playing with her ring absent-mindedly. Adjusting her necklace. Tucking her hair behind her ear repeatedly. Touching her own neck while talking to you. Self-touch is often a displacement behavior, a way to release nervous tension. When attraction is present but forbidden, the body needs an outlet, so it releases through movement. But let me ground you for a moment. Attraction does not automatically mean intention. Just because her body reacts doesn't mean she plans to act on it. Humans can feel things they choose not to pursue, and sometimes the conflict itself is the most intense part. You'll feel it too. The air shifts when you're close. Conversations feel layered. Silence feels louder. But here's the most telling thing. When you leave, she watches you walk away. Maybe subtly. Maybe thinking no one notices. But she watches. Because even if she hides her desire in conversation, her curiosity follows you out the room. Now this is where most men fail. Not because they can't read the signs, but because they don't know what to do with them. When you sense that a married woman likes you, when the eye contact lingers, when the tension hums beneath every conversation, when her body betrays what her words try to hide, you feel powerful, desired, chosen, seen. And that feeling can intoxicate you. But here's the truth that separates a reactive man from a grounded one. Temptation tests character more than it tests attraction. If she's married, she's already emotionally tied to another life. History, commitments, shared responsibilities. Whether her marriage is strong or fragile, it exists. And when you step into that dynamic carelessly, you don't just play with chemistry, you play with consequences. A high-value man understands something deeper. Attraction is not ownership. Energy is not permission. Chemistry is not destiny. Just because tension exists doesn't mean it must be acted on. In fact, sometimes the most powerful move is restraint. Because when you remain calm, composed, unreactive, you subtly shift the dynamic. Instead of becoming the fantasy escape, you become the grounded contrast. the man who doesn't chase validation, the man who doesn't need to steal attention to feel worthy. And ironically, that composure often increases the attraction. But this is not about manipulating her emotions. It's about mastering your own. Ask yourself, are you drawn to her because she's unavailable? Because the secrecy feels thrilling? Because the validation feeds something inside you? Or do you genuinely want a connection built in light, not shadows? Dark psychology teaches you how people behave under tension. Emotional intelligence teaches you how to respond without becoming destructive. If she continues to show subtle signs, curiosity, proximity, emotional probing, you have two paths. You can escalate, flirt back harder, lean into the tension, create a private emotional world between you and her. Or you can maintain respectful boundaries, keep conversations appropriate, avoid private emotional intimacy, signal through your behavior that you won't blur lines that shouldn't be crossed. And here's something powerful most men overlook. When you refuse to exploit vulnerability, you build invisible respect. Even if she never says it, even if nothing ever happens. Because deep down, women measure men not just by how they create desire, but by how they handle it. If she is unhappy in her marriage and genuinely interested in something more, the mature path is simple. She ends one chapter before starting another. Anything else is emotional overlap, and overlap creates chaos. Remember this: sometimes attraction isn't meant to be consumed. It's meant to be observed, understood, and left alone. The tension you feel? It's real. The signals you read? Often accurate. But the decision you make next defines you. Be the man who can read subtle female psychology without becoming reckless. Be the man who understands desire without being controlled by it. Because true power isn't in taking what's available. It's in choosing what aligns with your standards. And that is the part most men never learn. If this opened your eyes to signals you've been sensing but couldn't explain, then you're starting to see beneath the surface. And once you see clearly, you move differently. Now tell me, have you ever felt this kind of tension before?